Good morning, everybody. Let's go. Back on the shift. Back to another adventure, another weekend. Let's go. Got my coffee. Grab yours and have a good weekend. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another Stig shift. Hope everybody's doing well. Come on, let's go. We got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to see. It's going to be a fun adventure. We begin our adventure as we always do. Early morning, aircraft coming up from the hangar that overnighted, and we just make sure we right start them or wake them up properly. Get everything ready and set up for its first flight. Assignments are usually delegated by gates, so I was assigned to gate 41, 43, 45, and I had a team of people, but we also help each other out. All right, let's see now. Now we got a wide body, 777, and looks like the guys needed to do an IDG filter change, so we're servicing it up. Already changed the filter. He's going to get the equipment to service it. As most of you know, an IDG stands for Integrated Drive Generator. It provides electricity, power for the aircraft. This particular servicing was supposed to be done the night before, but the schedule got so busy that it kind of rolled over into the morning, which is completely fine. That's why we have technicians during daytime and swing shift. What you're seeing there is the actual IDG itself. To the left, where that little bowl is, that's where the filter lives. Yes, I have not tightened it all the way yet. I was waiting to get the torque wrench. In the meantime, my partners were getting the servicing equipment. It's a fairly easy job, very quick to do. The hardest part is probably opening up the fan cowls and the core cowl. It's comparable to changing the oil on your car. There's a drain plug, you dump the oil, put in a new filter, tighten everything up, torque it, safety wire it, and then service it up. Afterwards, we even ran the engine just to make sure there's no leaks. You'll see that later on. Oh, I completely forgot to mention, this is a 777, and the engine that you're looking at is the GE90-115B. There's two hoses that you're seeing. One is for the service, the one to the back, and to the front is the overflow. We will continuously pump fluid or engine oil into the IDG until it gets to an overflow, and it will automatically just spill out of the other hose. Once it starts to overflow, you stop pumping fluid into it, and then you wait until the overflow stops. Now for our engine run. Got a leak check. Once the engine is up and running, not above idle, a technician will go over there and make sure there's no leakage. Gives you a perspective how massive these engines are. And don't worry, technicians know exactly how to approach a running engine. Safety always first. There is no leaks. It was good to go. On to the next one. Here comes the next office. service some oil. You know, I love GE design and I love GE engines. There's one thing that I could never understand why they did not implement into this system, the oil. A sight gauge for the oil tank. So what ends up happening is when you service this, you have to fill it to the scupper base. But you have to be careful because the oil doesn't go into the tank immediately. It goes in gradually. So it's a bit of a slow process. But you usually do what the old school saying is, fill to spill. All nice and serviced up. But I saw a component that I haven't talked about before on this engine. It's right next to the oil tank. This thing. This is called the HPFAC, High Pressure and Fan Air Controller. Its primary job is to regulate pressure that goes to the FAM-V actuator and the HPSOV actuator. And now I have to explain what those things do, don't I? Why do I always do this to myself? Okay, I'll make it as easy as possible. Okay, bear with me. So believe it or not, this is not part of the engine ATA chapter. This is actually goes back to pneumatics, chapter 36. It's a pretty complex system, but to simplify it, it supplies and regulates bleed air that's coming off of that engine. Bleed air needs to be regulated very meticulously because it is responsible for the performance of the engine. But it's also utilized on multitude of other systems within the aircraft, such as APU starter, wing anti-ice, hydraulic reservoir pressure, aircraft packs, any kind of air-driven pumps, even potable water to pressurize the water tanks. This is why I say the system is so complex, because it ties into almost everything. We're going to stick to the things I mentioned. FAMV, Fan Air Modulating Valve. This controls the quantity of fan air that goes into the pre-cooler. The pre-cooler is there to decrease the bleed air temperature before it gets distributed to the aircraft. It's basically a radiator. Hot bleed air coming out of the engine goes into the pre-cooler, and the fan air modulating valve allows fan air to cool that air that's within the pre-cooler. Other component we talked about is the HPSOV, high pressure shutoff valve. Its primary job is to control the direction of flow and pressure of the bleed air from the high stage of the high pressure compressor. It works together with another valve called the PRSOV, pressure regulating shutoff valve. That valve controls the direction of flow and air pressure to the pneumatic distribution system. The valves actually are identical, but they're located in different sections of the engine. That being said, this brings us back to the high pressure fan air controller. Remember what I said in the beginning? This thing regulates the control pressure that goes to those two components. The unit itself is an electro-pneumatic controller. It has torque motors inside there. It regulates the control pressure. In conclusion, this unit will tell those two valves, the HPSOV and the FAMV, in which position they need to be in. Boy, oh boy, that was a lot. I hope I didn't lose you guys. Let's keep going. Back into our beautiful 777. This thing just came in from Miami and is going to go out to Heathrow. So, as always, eops check. Go through the parameters, make sure everything's A-OK. Go through the maintenance menus. The usual. And then go to the cabin. Oh, good. IDGs and backup generators looking good. Good. Very good. I think I'm showing you guys the camera, all right? There's the camera system. Pretty cool. Oh, you know, before we go, somebody asked me, what are these little knobs right here on the 777, right? It's to remove the screen, actually. Watch. Well, I'm not going to remove the screen. I'm just show you. That's what it looks like. When you deactivate the screen, you simply turn that knob, pull, the whole screen comes out. And these little things are light sensors. Here, watch, let me see if you can see it. If I shine the light, it'll brighten up automatically. See that? Yeah. Anyway, almost done here. I'm gonna do a walk around to the inside, make sure everything's good to go, and then on to the next one. The aircraft came in pretty clean, no discrepancies, no issues, but I still do the walk around through the cabin, and I always find this is my little pet peeve. On to the next one. All right, this is the Sydney flight, 7LA. You're in the right city. All right, another eops. This was gonna leave a little later today, but we still gotta do the do a walk around, go inside. We got a couple of inbounds. Easy. Beautiful. I know somebody's going to ask, and they're going to ask, what is the designation of 7LA or Lima Alpha? Two types of way to identify the aircraft. Obviously the registration, the tail number, and that one, what you saw there, is called a nose number. Now the tail number is universally understood. The N numbers or international carriers, whatever they designate their numbers or letters for, it's the registration of the aircraft. Now the nose number is for us, specifically for pilots and maintenance. This is how we communicate, and this is how we keep track of the aircraft. It's in our database with the nose number. So let's say if an aircraft is coming in, yeah, we can track it by flight, we can track it by the tail number, but internally, within our own system, we track it by the nose number. It also helps us identify the type of aircraft this is. For example, 7 Lima Alpha. I know this is a 777-300. If I looked at my schedule and I saw an airplane coming in with the nose number of, say, 7 Alpha Alpha, I know automatically that's a 777-200. Oh, we gotta do a primary flight control check on this airplane too, so let's power up to old Matt. Wake up, Matt. Time to go to work. Yeah. It takes some money. Yeah, it still runs on Windows XP. Now, I've shown you guys this before. MAT stands for Maintenance Access Terminal, and it's not connected to anything. This thing has no Wi-Fi, no connectivity at all. This is just an operating system. It's only accessible to maintenance. You can't use it in flight. Nobody touches this besides maintenance. Gives us the ability to perform bite checks, built-in test equipment. It's a very well-known system, and it's a very old system. You can look this up online as well. There's plenty of information that's free for you if you just Google search 777 MAT. Or 777 Maintenance Access Terminal. But once again, guys, don't worry, this thing does not connect to anything. There's no way to hack this or do anything malicious. Don't worry, it's not connected to anything. It's just to run operation checks. No connection to Wi-Fi on this thing. But anyway, we'll run through a test and make sure everything's okay. So what we want here, we're finally interfacing with Matt, and we're into the AIMS menu. Go to onboard maintenance. It's a little slow, but it's alright. Just like me. Anyway, so okay, we're here, onboard maintenance, go line maintenance, and then we're going to want ground tests, and then we're going to scroll down to chapter 27, which is primary flight controls. And there it is. That's, oh, not that one. That one. That's what I want. Once I got that one, then we will do system test, and then it'll ask me which one I want. I want the actuator confidence test. That's the one I want, right there. And I continue. Hit continue, and follow the instruction that tells you. So, it basically tells you step by step exactly what to do. And we're following the paperwork as well, so pretty easy. Nothing to this. These aircraft are incredibly intelligent. And when I say intelligent, I mean it. They are smart. And the instructions and the paperwork that comes along with these aircraft is immaculate. It gives you step-by-step instructions on what to do and how to do it. We can pay attention to what's happening over here. So the test that's being performed is called an flight control actuator confidence test. In order to do that, you need to shut off certain portions of flight control systems. We need to isolate certain components or systems within the hydraulics in order for the test to run its course. So what's happening here now is that the systems are activated, hydraulics are running, and the flight control surfaces, such as the elevators, the ailerons, are going to start moving, especially the rudder. It's going to go through a full motion check. You can't feel it through the video, but trust me, the flight controls are moving around right now. I know it would have been a much cooler shot from outside, but gotta do the test from inside. Yeah, the whole airplane is shaking. Pretty cool. reason you're seeing some of the components or the flight control surfaces moving independently because they can when certain systems are inhibited or uninhibited. This goes back to the whole isolation of certain systems. So an elevator, the left elevator can move up while the right elevator stands still. Once again, going back to isolation of certain components or certain actuators. The aircraft in normal condition will not do this. They will both move in sequence, basically, together. As I said, this is just a test. As I mentioned earlier, it's much cooler to see it from the outside and watching the flight controls move up and down. But with the camera system right here, you can actually see the right flaperon moving up and down. And you can see it on the ICAS page right there, how it coincides. But overall, the test is not that exciting. It's like watching paint dry. But, you know, for me, it's interesting. I'm glad I could share it. Okay. It wants to see this. That's what I want to see. Test passed. And then we confirm with good old Matt. I say, yes, it passed. And now it's going to calculate all the results and all the data and then give me the official go-ahead. I'm okay to fly. Or airplane's okay to fly. That's about it, see? Just as exciting as watching paint dry. There you go. Hey, okay. And that's it. Turn off hydraulics, turn off the beacon, and now we got to go work on the inside of the airplane. I got something really cool to show you. Check this out. Up next, we got to change Galley filters. We got to open up the ceiling panel for that. What I meant to say is not the Galley filters, but the chiller, the Galley chiller filters. We need to drop down the overhead panel, and this is going to be in all of the galleys. You'll see it. So, that's the overhead. And that's what it looks like overhead in your galley. Those are filters I gotta change right there. Those are the chillers. Chillers are an electrical refrigeration unit. These chillers are used to keep beverages and food cold within the galleys. Or the galley carts, I should say. So that's what they look like. They're big, square, rectangular looking units, usually live within the overhead or behind the galleys. To simplify it for you, it's an electrical air conditioner. That's all it is. Not something you see every day. Not something that you know what's above you when you're flying on airplanes, especially on a 777 like this. It's a lot of space up there. All the silver that you're seeing is insulation. All the tubing or the piping is ducting for either air conditioning or avionics cooling. And all the green stuff is basically structure. There are times that we have to access these areas in order to work on these components. Wide body aircraft are a lot easier to work on because there's more space to work in there. But when it comes down to narrow bodies, don't expect to see this. There's a lot less space. What am I kidding? There's actually no space at all. But again, these wide bodies are very, very mechanic friendly. There's plenty of room to work on. Next time you fly on a 777 and you look up, you'll have better appreciation of what is actually above your head. And that's what it looks like. It's closed. And we just put all this back, just like before. You know what it reminds me of? That movie with Steven Seagal. They're crawling through a 747 overhead. Was it Clear Present Danger or no? Was that Air Force One? I'm not sure, but I remember. It was one of those movies when they were crawling around in the rafters of the 747. Yeah, that's funny. Executive Decision. That's the movie I was thinking about. I can't believe I completely forgot about it. I've seen that movie a million times. The reason it stands out to me because I think it was like in the first 5 minutes, Steven Seagal gets knocked out of the movie. Must have been a short contract for him. But in any case, what I really want to show you here is this. The black boxes. Somebody asked to see this, and here you go. These are the black boxes on the 777. And as you guessed it, black boxes are not really black. They are orange, bright orange, so you can find them. And of course, you have to give a shout out to Mr. David Warren, the inventor of the black box. Thank you, Australia, for giving this to us. Thank you for contributing to aviation. In the past, there were actually tapes within these components or the boxes. Nowadays, they're solid state hard drives. You have a CDR and an FDR, cockpit voice recorder and flight data recorder. The flight data recorder is capable of collecting data up to 25 hours of flight. It usually begins to collect the data during any engine start or during testing, as well as when the aircraft is in the air. It collects all vital data of the aircraft, engines running, parameters, flight controls, everything. The CDR is pretty self-explanatory. Voice recorder. It collects all pertinent noises or voices within the flight deck. This includes any kind of conversation between the pilots, also any kind of warning sounds that the aircraft might make. The CDR has the capacity to record up to 120 minutes of audio. That's one thing I find very strange, because we have the technology to record a lot longer than 120 minutes. But those are the regulations. I don't make these rules. Pilots also have the capacity to erase the previous recording, but only on a certain stipulation. Aircraft has to be on the ground with parking brakes on. You cannot just erase the messages or the recording in flight. It's not going to happen. And last but not least, let's talk about that little silver cylinder that's in front of both of these units. Those are called the ULB, Underwater Locator Beacon. It's basically a transmitter, or an ultrasonic beacon, they call it. It will activate when it touches any source of water. Salt water, fresh water, doesn't matter. It's going to activate. It has its own battery source. It can operate at a maximum depth of about 20,000 feet. Detection range of 2 miles, and it can operate for 30 days. Once it touches water, it will continuously send out an acoustic pulse tone. And that's how you would find the airplane if it was underwater. Anyway, that's about it for this. Let's go look at some cool cars. As always, cargo never disappoints. Never ever. We got a nice collection of Bentleys over here. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. These are beautiful. Look at that. We got a mystery mobile over here. I don't know what that is. Whatever that is. But these, my oh my. These are lovely. Very lovely. I always wanted to see the undercarriage of a Bentley. Oh, it rides on airbags. How about that? Huh. Gorgeous. There's some more cars. Oh, don't mind the doorstop. Now you got a couple of Mercedes over here sitting around. SUVs looks like, but this is what caught my attention. This beautiful Porsche. Man, oh man. And I don't think this is a Singer either. I think this is the original condition. What a beauty. I love it. Absolutely love it. Or maybe it is a special edition. I'm not sure. You guys tell me. Or a modified thing. Might be a resto mod. But that's not all. Notice this thing over here. This is a Ferrari. Now, I'm not sure. Well, you know, it looks like a 355 Spider, but this thing is modified. Very much modified. Wow. What a beauty. And actually, another thing I just noticed. Look what side the steering wheel's on. My British friends are gonna say it's on the right side, the correct side. What a beauty. There you go, take a screenshot. And that's not all. More Bentleys over here. Man, somebody with deep pockets went ahead and bought every color they could find. Lovely. That's a unique color right there. Very cool. Oh man, oh man. Time to go back to work. Break time is over, but gotta stop and admire the view. Beautiful 747 rolling by and a couple of takeoffs. Corporate aviation or corporate jets have always been a mystery to me. I know nothing about them. I have zero knowledge on these airplanes, but I find them very beautiful and very elegant. And no worries, I caught the 747 taking off as well. Enjoy this. Just have to give this one a little bit of oil. It's staying here overnight, so that's it. This is what the inside of my brain looks like. Oh man, oh man. Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to another glorious day. Let's go. Time for more adventure. Ain't that a thing of beauty? Now, I might have mentioned this before, but when you look at the flight deck and the controls within the flight deck, such as the throttle body, the thrust reverser handles, the speed brake, the flaps, notice the shapes? They actually coincide with the component. The flap handle is going to feel like a flap. The speed brake is going to feel like a speed brake. Or the shape of one, I should say. Even the landing gear lever, it's shaped like a little wheel. The reasoning behind this is so that pilots can just simply put their hand down and know what they are controlling. They don't have to continuously look down to see what they're grabbing. Especially important, let's say if there was smoke inside the flight deck and they couldn't see anything. They would have to do is put their hand down and they would know exactly what they're holding. Also pay close attention to the notches of the flap handle. Look at the base of it. There's a reason you have these detents at degree 1 and degree 20. This is primarily done for safety. This is so the pilots doesn't accidentally go beyond the flap settings that's required. In order to get past detent 1, pilot must lift up, pull back, push down, then pull up again to go past that 1 degree. If I remember correctly, I believe the proper term for that is flap gates. There's another reason for it. I can't remember exactly. I think it's the most common flap settings, but pilots chime in on this. Let me know. Educate me. Next office. Back in the 737 and my favorite hiding spot. All right, I think this one just came in from Vegas and going out to Phoenix. Quick turn, real quick. Probably less than 20 minutes on the ground. I'll do a quick little walk around, make sure everything's A-okay. The usual. Looking good so far. Everything looking lovely over here. Let's see. Hydraulics good. Engine oil's good. Happy airplane. Oh, we know we gotta do it. Switch to guns. I know I'm being a goofball, but don't worry, pilots actually do this test before they even go flying. It's part of their pre-flight checklist. It's the stall warning test. Now, for some reason, I can't find the footage of the actual unit, but I got pretty close. This is, again, a 737, and I'm gonna just adjust the foot pedals with the little knob. You'll see it happen right now. But what I want you to pay attention is what's attached to the control column. It's gonna be right behind it, and I'll point it out to you. Right there, to the right side of the screen, that circular cylindrical looking thing. That's called the control column shaker. It's simply a small little electrical motor that's attached to the base of that control column. When the aircraft is approaching stall, this thing will start shaking and knocking up against the control column, making it vibrate. Hence the name, the stick shaker. But I always call it switching to guns because it feels like machine guns. But anyway, yeah, let's keep going. All right, let's get out of here. On to the next one. Let's go. On to the next one. We'll take the cargoes on this 777. Come on, who wants to do laps with me? I'll race you. Nothing new here, guys. You've seen all of this before because I've shown you this before. I'm performing an eops check inspecting the cargo pits. A basic GVI, general visual inspection. Looking at the sidewalls, the latches, the smoke detectors, the fire suppression nozzles, making sure everything is good to go, nothing is damaged. The previous scene was the forward cargo pit, this is the aft cargo pit, and this is a 777-300. Behind that lining is the bulk cargo. It's a beautiful day. Quick little walk through the cabin. Actually, this one came out real nice and clean. All good. We're almost done here. Oh, I forgot to mention, yeah, this is going to, as always, yeah, Heathrow, London. Yeah, so far so good. Of course, my favorite. Here we are. Run through the parameters, make sure everything's okay as usual. Beautiful. It's actually a nice and easy day. Make sure that's working. You know, before we leave this airplane, I want to talk about a particular system that the 777 has. It's this right here. It's called Thrust Asymmetry Compensation, TAC for short. To put it simply, let's say if you had some kind of an engine failure or one engine was not producing enough thrust as the other. you're going to get excessive yaw of the aircraft. To relieve pressure or workload off of the pilot, the system will automatically compensate. It will input rudder trim so the pilot doesn't have to work as hard on the rudder pedals. That's what that system is constantly doing. It's monitoring the thrust ratings of those engines. If it feels a discrepancy between one engine or the other, it's about like 10% thrust loss, let's say, it will automatically input rudder trim. The system itself is automatic. Pilots don't really touch it or do anything with it. It just does its job. If the system does malfunction or fail, pilots will just have to revert to manually applying rudder. I'll tell you what, aviation is so beautiful. They just think of everything. Everything has a reason. Everything has a purpose behind it. It's just fantastic to me. Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. Let's enjoy the sounds of a beautiful G90. All right, one more day done. Time to go get some rest. I'll be back tomorrow. See y'all later. Bye. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Today we're back on the brake riding crew. So, as always, we're gonna have some fun. Be in the flight deck. So, do a quick little walk around, make sure everything's A-okay. Then we'll go upstairs. Let's go. Okay, let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride. All right, here we go. Let's see now. Everything is set up. I got the frequencies ready, transponders ready to go. Just waiting for the super tug to show up so they can hook up, get hydraulics going, and get the party started. Let's go. Everything was hooked up, ready to go. I got clearance from downstairs for brakes release the brakes, and on we go. You guys have been enjoying the brake riding and the ATC chatter, so I'm gonna leave that in there. I'll be quiet. Enjoy.
That was 6294. Cathay 417 Heavy is ready to proceed. Cathay 417 Heavy, proceed via Charlie West route. Charlie in the west for Cathay 417 Heavy. Well, good afternoon, American 2277, Charlie 9, spot 1, taxi with X-ray. American 2277, LA Ground, afternoon, runway 25 right, taxi via Bravo, it is Yankee, this is current. 25 right via Bravo, I'll get Yankee, American 2277. Got 821 Juliet, LA Ground, taxi via Bravo, Charlie 8 to the ramp. Bravo, Charlie 8 to the ramp, got 821 Juliet. Ground AVEX 105, we're ready to taxi, we have Yankee. AVEX 105 Heavy, runway 25 left, taxi via Alpha, hold short of taxiway Foxtrot, still waiting on a release time for it. Alright, 25 left, Alpha, short Foxtrot, AVEX 105. AVEX 105 Heavy, release at 50, avoided now by 53, time now 0046.5. 5053, thanks, AVEX 105. AVEX 105 Heavy, monitor Terra 120.95. 120.95, AVEX 105. D21 Juliet at taxiway Juliet, pass behind American Airbus. Scout D21 Juliet, hold short of taxiway Juliet. Hold short of Juliet, SkyWest 821 Juliet.
And the ground is American 151, Charlie 10 for Charlie 5.
American 151, LA ground, proceed via Bravo, Charlie 5.
Bravo, Charlie 5, American 151. Ground, American 42, Bravo, Charlie 9 for Charlie 5.
American 43, Bravo, LA ground, proceed via Bravo, Charlie 5.
Team Bravo to Charlie 5, American 42, Bravo.
American 151 at Charlie 9, pass behind your company tow.
Behind company tow on Charlie 9, American 151.
Scout 821 Juliet at taxiway Juliet, pass behind 2 American Airbuses that continue Bravo Charlie 6.
Bravo Charlie 6 after the 2 Americans on Juliet, SkyWest 821 Juliet.
American 696 LA ground, turn right, taxiway Bravo, then Charlie 10 to the ramp.
Bravo Charlie 10 to the ramp, American 696.
Scout 821 Juliet after the 2nd American Bravo Charlie 8 to the ramp.
Bravo Charlie 8 to the ramp after the 2nd American, SkyWest 821 Juliet.
American 2277 monitor Terra. American 2277 monitor Terra.
American 2973, tap on Charlie 7, request hold Charlie 3.
United 73 LA ground, wait for the 2nd American under tow at Bravo, then proceed Bravo Charlie 3.
Wait for the 2nd American under tow at Bravo, then proceed Bravo to Charlie 3, 973.
American 2547 LA ground, turn right, taxiway Bravo, Charlie 10 to the ramp behind your company.
Ground American 25 right, or 25, American 2547.
One quick little interruption because this was a question, and the question was, how do aircraft determine ground speed? You all know how airspeed works because you have the pedostatic system. Ground speed works a little bit different. It gathers its data from GPS. You can see the display right there on the top left corner. GS 15, ground speed 15 knots. You ask yourself, how come they don't just put a tachometer within the wheel hub, right, to measure the wheel speed? Well, there is a tachometer, but it's not for speed. It's for anti-skid properties. It works much like your ABS in a car. That's a whole separate system, which I'll bring up on a future video.
American 2315 LA ground, taxi via Bravo, Charlie 9 to your ramp. American 2315 LA ground, can you taxi via Bravo, Charlie 9? American 2315 ground. American 2315 LA ground.
LA ground, American 2317 going to 51 Bravo.
American 2315 LA ground, can you taxi via Bravo, Charlie 9 to the ramp?
Bravo, Charlie 9 to the ramp, American 2315.
Ground flight jet 727 signature, need a reposition to Atlantic. Flight jet 727 LA ground, proceed via Alpha 6 to Atlantic.
Alpha 6 to Atlantic, flight 727.
Ground bearing 2531, checkpoint 2 south route to gate 58. currently 2531 LA ground, taxi via Bravo, Charlie 8 0 gate.
Bravo, Charlie to the gate, Spirit 2531.
First move completed, got the clearance from downstairs to set brakes, and we're going to set the brakes and shut down the aircraft. All right, we're all done right here. That was a nice and easy move. We don't need that anymore. Emergency lights are off. Turn that off. Hydraulics off. Beacon off. Turn the adderus off. That's it. Time for shutdown. Jump to that one. Let's go. Next one. Get this door closed up and ready to go.
If you are sitting in an exit seat, please remove the safety card in the seat pocket.
Every single time. Every single time. It just scares the heck out of me every time. It's an automatic announcement, so as soon as you close the doors, it's gonna start talking, so it gets me every time. Am I clear for hydraulics?
Yes, sir.
Clear for brakes?
You are clear.
Brakes off.
Copy, brakes off. Appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, best job in the world. Look at that. Just look at that. Fly, baby, fly.
1715 Myers
What a
Tower,
beauty.
120.95 today. 1209 over 1715, how do 1715, before you go, follow UPS at Bravo 1. Okay, follow the UPS at Bravo 1, boy, 1675, wheels up time is at 3-4 in about 6 minutes. Give way at Golf to an Embraer, then continue at Myers Tower, 120.95. Got fairway 430 now, we're going to keep 5-6 Bravo. 439, taxi Bravo Charlie 8, wait for American out. Bravo Charlie 8, wait for the American, fairway 46. 1675, get away at Golf. Thank you, American 1675 Tower, 120.95, you copy your wheels up? Yep, 34, got it, thank you. Perfect, thanks, go 1674, right turn Bravo Charlie 4 Charlie. American 2217 LA ground, running 25 right taxi via Bravo. American 2017, 2 right via Bravo. Bravo, Antenna 327 Heavy, taxi route, Papa, Hotel Charlie. 327 Heavy, last service, taxi Bravo Charlie, send to the ramp. That's where Bravo Charlie to the ramp, 327 Heavy. 327 Heavy, taxi via Bravo Charlie 10, Charlie 10 to the ramp. Bravo Charlie 10 to the ramp, 327, thank you.
Look at this thing. It reminds me of a pair of socks I own. That's good though. It's a beautiful airplane. Slowly coming to the end of the shift here. I only had 2 airplanes to brake ride because my other partners were doing the other aircraft, but I always enjoy it. It's always fun. Taxiing them under its own power is even more fun. And just like that, this one's done as well. Let's see now. Hydraulics off. Beacon off. Emergency lights are already off. Batteries are already off. Let's see. All we gotta do is turn off the battery. Oh, excuse me, not the battery, the APU. There she goes. That was a fun, easy day. I always enjoy brake riding. Hope you guys enjoyed it too. But that is all for this weekend and this adventure. I'll see you guys on the next one. Later. Well, we come to the end of this journey, the end of this adventure, and I'll leave you again with another beautiful 747 taking off. This time it's from a Cargo Lux. I hope I can keep providing you with entertainment, education, and just a place to gather as a community, as an aviation community, so we can share our minds and we can share our knowledge together, and most of all, our passion for aviation itself. As always, I just want to take a moment to thank all of you for being here, taking your time, watching, and enjoying all of this. I appreciate every single one of you. That's about it, guys. I'll see you guys on the next adventure. Later.